Okay, so we are jumping straight into it. Today we are working on a Galaxy S22 5G. We are replacing the charging port. The charging port has gone bad in this phone. So the first thing we're going to want to do is set it on the cooker. This is just a heating mat. I bought this on Amazon for $35. You'll set it to 69 degrees Celsius and then just turn it on and let it sit for 10 minutes. After that, we'll just shut it off and set it out of the way. Get our workstation set up here, and the tools we'll need are a suction cup, a PH000 screwdriver, and a card. Now you can use a playing card or any other kind of card just to work your way around the edges of the back. So we're going to jump straight into getting the back off, and we'll take our suction cup and put it at the bottom left corner and just pry up. Now you can see the glue is still on there. We'll eventually want to take our card and work our way around. You're going to want to be careful as not to separate or break the back of it, especially around where the camera bump is. So now we'll just take our card and wedge it between the glass and the frame and just start working our way around. You can see we're starting to work our way on the back side there. There's like a good bit of glue or maybe something that's stopping the lens from coming off near the camera. And I believe that is a black piece that holds the flashlight mount on. So we'll just use our card to get it in there and try to loosen that up a bit. And after we do that, we'll just twist the back of it a little bit more. And it will pop off. Just be careful as not to break the back, okay? Okay, now you see we have the back off here, and that's the little black piece I was talking about. We just want to set that off to the side after getting our suction cup off, and we're done with the suction cup for now. We do not need it for the rest of the repair. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is there are 6 screws in the bottom. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll just want to take them all off one at a time and set them off to the side. Now again, this is a PH000. Most charging ports you buy will come with this screwdriver. And if you do not want the ones that they come with, or if you buy one that does not come with a screwdriver, typically you can buy these at Walmart in a cheap repair kit. Mine is from Hyper Tough, and I believe I paid $7 for it. So right now we're just loosening all the screws up, and once we get them all loose, we'll take a pair of tweezers, pick them up and remove them from their hold and set them off to the side. All screws in this device are the same, so you do not have to separate them, although I do in this video, just out of good practice. Now you want to be careful as though not to lose any of these screws. I am sure you can have one out if need be if you drop it and cannot locate it, but just for good measures you want to make sure you keep all the screws intact. Okay, so now that we have all the screws removed from the bottom of the device, we'll just go ahead and start working on the one at the top. Now there are 5 up top, and now here I only point to 4. I did miss one, but I will point to that one here in a minute. These ones up here are also PH000. And I do apologize for any shaking of the camera, as I'm just working on a standalone pop-up table and the phone mount I have is not a very secure one, although it is about the best that I have been able to purchase so far. So there's that 5th screw that I just pointed at, and that is the last screw we need to remove for this wireless charging board. And once we pull it up, we just need to pry the top of it up a bit, which will allow us to get to a black ribbon cable, which I'm about to show you here. It is in between 3 ribbon cables. The first thing you want to do is remove that black ribbon cable. And that will allow us to pop up this wireless charging pad. The wireless charging pad is glued into the soundboard on the bottom, and we will remove all of it as one piece. Now there should be a small gap right around the left side of your device that you can shove your needle nose or tweezers in to pry that up, and you'll just want to take it and set it off to the side. And now that we have that off, the next thing we're going to want to do, as I'll show you here, it is the battery ribbon cable. I'll just go ahead and take your spludger and take it to remove the battery ribbon cable. This will reduce any chances of damaging your device. Now that that cable has been removed, there are 2 cables on the subboard for the charger. One is the main cable, and the other one is the, I believe, a data cable as to what your SIM card connects to. You just want to take your spludger and remove those 2. And now there are 3 PH000 screws on this board. You'll just take your screwdriver and remove all 3 screws and set those off to the side. Okay, so now that we have those off, something I forgot to do in the beginning of the video would be remove the SIM card. All you need to do for this is take a SIM card and put it in, or SIM card removal tool, and put it in this hole on the bottom of your phone, and it will just pop the SIM card out. Just be sure not to drop the SIM card or lose it, as it is what holds the data signal for your phone. Now we'll just take the needle nose and pry up on the board to remove the subboard that holds our charger port and our SIM card. Okay, now as you can see, I'm just prying it up here, and once you get it lifted up like that, you should just be able to pull it right up and out of your device, and you'll set that off to the side. This is the old board. The new board I am using, I purchased from Amazon for roughly $15. It is an MMOBIEL board, and it did come with the screwdriver to replace it. However, I will not be using that screwdriver for this video. So now we'll just want to take that board, and you'll want to put in the charging end first, and then you're going to want to push down and try and push it in. And once you get it seated into place, you don't want to use too much force as to damage the board. You'll just use minimal force to get it set into place. And you'll know you'll have it into place once it seats in properly without popping back up. And then you'll just want to go ahead and take all 3 screws that we have already taken out and place them back into each slot in the board, and you'll want to tighten them back up. Great, now having these 3 tightened back up, what we're going to want to do is take both of the ribbon cables that we have removed. That would be the main ribbon cable and the cable beside it that I believe goes to your SIM card, or your SIM card. Pop them back into place. You'll just need to seat it in properly, and once it looks like it's seated in properly, you should be able to pop it in with your finger, and you should be able to feel maybe a satisfying pop or click. It won't be crooked, it won't be popping up on any one side, and you're just going to repeat that with the battery cable up in the top. Here in the video, I did get my battery cable in improperly. It was a little crooked, so I had to pop it back off and replace it. But once it was seated in properly, it sat flush with a solid click. Now that the battery cable's back in, we can start on replacing the wireless charging pad. Now when we put this back in, we're going to want to put it in the speaker board goes in first, as it's got these little tabs that allow it to sit into place properly. So we just get it set down here and bottom of the speaker board in first. Push it into place, and once it's pushed and sat into place, it'll sit in nice and firm. We'll want to go ahead and take the 6 screws and tighten them back up into the speaker board. And again, these screws are PH000. As you can see here, I had actually used the screws that came out of the top board for the bottom board, and they are the same length and size. Okay, so now what we're doing is the top black ribbon cable that we removed for this wireless board, we're just going to want to pop it back into place, and that'll sit in flush just as the battery cable does, and it goes right in between the battery cable and the 5G cable. Now we just need to replace the 5 Phillips head screws on the board, starting with the top right one to hold it into place. And once we get these 5 screws in, we'll want to test the device. Now a mistake I made upcoming here is I put the back glass on before plugging my charger in. However, my charger did work and I have not had any issues out of it since. But you'll just want to go ahead and test the charging port before replacing the back glass. As you can see, the device is powering on, which means we're having no screen issues. And you'll see here in a minute where I will test the charging port of the device. But when replacing the back glass, most people prefer to use new adhesive. On this device, I did not, as this is my own personal, but we just took this and sat it back down and pushed it into place, ensuring not to damage the lenses of the camera. I actually did sit this back down on my heating mat and heated it up for another 5 minutes to melt the adhesive, and I pushed it back into place. That allows the adhesive to get a stronger bond. As you can see here, we've got the charger port plugged in and it is working properly. And with that, the next step would be to take your SIM card and place it back in. SIM card faces the screen, just as I show here. And with that, we have completed the charging port replacement on our Galaxy S22 5G. I hope this video helped you as much as it would help anybody else. And if you liked it, just give me a like and have a good day.